Intel Extreme Masters World Championship to follow the World Championship Series Winter Championship.
We got there eventually.
That is a lot of championships.
There's a lot of championships on the line, and I have 3 champions with me on the desk. It is in control, Maynard and Nathanius.
Wow.
He's super happy after seeing the Terran go through in that last round.
Oh, yeah.
You
I was so worried we wouldn't get a Terran out of that.
In that TVT?
That's, hey, man, look what happened to Neeb. You never know. Dude beat Pult before, became Protoss. You know, can't take too many chances.
All eyes on you, Nate.
It's literally my fault.
At the break, guys, by the way, we discovered that Nate's name rhymes with mate, great, 8, and a few other words.
Late. Plate.
Date, plate.
We have a lot of time to fill
cool.
between
It was
customers.
Relate?
Yeah.
Relate. The end part,
relate your
yes.
stretch name. Eh?
All right, don't hate, appreciate. It's enough.
Oh, Maynard. Let's check in
you
with the
did
round
the
of
8.
32 bracket.
I got it.
As so far, we finished with 1 game from the round of 16. The whole tournament really starting to unfold now as we get closer and closer to finding out who will have the trophy on Saturday and who will qualify for the global playoffs as well, which will be happening at the end of the year like every year in the WCS system. Our next game coming up is FireCake versus Haas. Haas took out Bunny yesterday, 3 games to 2. And FireCake, as you can see on the bracket, 3-0 versus Serral. A very good performance in that Zerg versus Zerg. Nathaniel, you have something to say?
So, we kind of talked about how Bunny should have been the favorite against Haas. It's a leap year. Haas leaped over the Bunny. Bunny's leap. I think Haas has this against FireCake.
Wow.
Yeah.
That meant.
I was trying to go for the in-control logic on this one.
No,
Yeah. I could see why you'd think that.
I was sitting next to FireCake after each game, and he had a chat to say, and he was very, like, you could see in his face and what he was saying, he was very, very confident against coming up against Haas.
Yeah?
Can you-
very, very.
How do you see it in the face? Show us what you would, like, if you're confident, what would that look like?
I'd like that grin.
That's
like,
what
yeah, okay.
FireCake did. That was it.
Yeah.
Didn't say
No,
anything.
he actually said. I said what he was saying and how he looked.
Oh, okay.
All right,
What
well,
did he
the
say
camera was
exactly?
not. Can we
Just
put the
that he-
camera-
He literally said, like, I'm sorry that I have to do this, but he literally said, I'm very confident against Haas.
That's it.
You just said
Yes.
literally. You might have been talking to Red Eye.
Uh,
Can we get the camera on Maynard, please? Can you show him confident? Show him confident. Wait for the camera to be on you.
I don't think
They don't. No,
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Ode to Aussie. Ascent.
That's
I
what
made it.
FireCake looked
That's
like.
your confident look, huh?
I think I'm going to be Haas.
Ladies of the chat.
All right. Thank you for that explanation.
Ladies.
Let's have a look at this, though. Obviously, there is always a chance that Haas can surprise as he already did in the previous round.
A chance that Haas can surprise us.
Just a chance.
Everything he does is random.
This is a hostile analysis.
It's a hostile.
You be careful, bruh.
You guys are savage with this one. You are.
This is great.
You are memeing all over
You know,
the
I've just been
place.
having such a great time here
We
with
have had
all
a
of
good
you.
time.
It's been great out here in Poland, being on the desk, especially with you, Jeff,
Thank
and
you.
Sean. You know, it's always
Maynard
fun.
too.
Yeah, Maynard's got my back.
But especially you two.
Maynard's
Don't worry about
channeling,
me. No, don't worry about
Maynard's
me.
channeling the
These guys-
confidence. You know,
No,
Brendan had my back on the Terran
Yeah.
side.
I feel like I have rope around each one of you, and it's tied to this desk to keep you from floating away in the background here, because this is how I feel.
I'm
this
excited because
segment's going.
Like, this is day 2, and we're already suffering like a exhaustion hallucination, which is
delirium.
really fun. Usually it's day 4 where like the jokes start to trail off a little bit, and we're like, "Rrrr."
So
It's good.
let's look at this in a serious way for a second.
For a
FireCake
second.
knows exactly what's coming his way, right? It's that kind of that simple.
Yes.
Haas is going to come at him with everything that Protoss has as an option, which is a lot
The
of
Zergs will
things.
disagree, but it's not what it was in Hots and Wings Liberty, where Protoss had at their disposal tons of brutal, if you don't scout this, you're absolutely dead cheeses. Zergs seem to have a much firmer grasp of Queens being fairly defensible against most things. You need some semblance of detection. Stargate tech is ever prevalent, and it can get a little weird, like 3 Oracles can show up, but even then, a Spore Crawler is still kind of the answer. I'm not saying you can't cheese Zergs. We're about to see 3 or 4 games of cheese against Zergs, but what I am saying is it's not what it was in the past where a lucky 3 force fields, or it's just not as severe, and that's why FireCake is the severe favorite here. If this was a Terran, any Terran, by the way, even Polt, I'd be like, has a puncher's chance. He has got these weird things that he does that nobody else faces. And in PvZ, and even actually FireCake talked about this, he remembers Jadon getting cannon rushed by Haz brutally.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things he has to look out for, but even that has answers that are pretty okay.
Yeah. I'm glad that, you know, I'll take the non-Protoss approach. I know Jeff's trying to be as unbiased as possible. Since I don't play PvZ, I'll just say it's because Zerg is obviously super strong in the early game now. They can't really die. So Yeah, I agree that Protoss Cheese has lost a lot of its punch against Zerg.
I mean, our thoughts here before we wrap up predictions and get to the game?
Okay, the guys, I mean, I don't want to say the same thing over and over again. I'm just going to give my prediction. I think FireCake 3-1.
Okay, thank you.
Giving one win to Haas for a cheeky, cheesy victory.
Cheeky, cheesy victory.
Yeah.
Nate?
Oh, Haas 3-0.
Really?
I figured I'd be
here.
wrong once. I might as
You're
well.
not.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll try. Why not?
Okay.
It's not a prediction when you say you're pretending to be wrong. Like,
All right.
anyways, I think it's going to be 3-0 FireCake. And again, I've said this, and this is my caster grade defense where I'm kind of on both sides, but I'd like to be wrong. I want Haz to continue to upset this tournament. I think it'd be really cool.
And you would go up against Pult in the next round.
And
Winner
then
of that in the quarterfinals. Very
certainly
impressive.
die there. Good Lord.
All right, let's head over to the caster's desk for this one then, as we bring you the second game of the round of 16.
Welcome everybody to the caster's desk. We're about to begin what could be the most fun series of the day. It's going to be Haas against FireCake. I'm really hyped for this one. What about you, Roddy?
This is a series that I'm very hyped for, and I think you as well. Basically everybody out there. Everybody wants to see Haas, but I completely agree with the guys at the desk. PvZ is not the same as it used to be in Heart of the Swarm, where certain cheeses, if you execute them well, even if you tell the Zerg, like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, they were still very hard to deal with. I think in Legacy of the Void, it's a completely different ballgame. It's going to be very hard to make predictions, because I have not seen A, because it's Haas, obviously, and B, I have not really seen him yet in this matchup, but I'm with Jeff. I am expecting a 3-0 FireCake, but if I'm wrong, well, that probably means we're going to see a couple of very hilarious things in this series.
Well, I'm with you on that one. So let's get right into game number one here. Up in the top right, in the red, the Zerg player. It is FireCake.
No, I think it's the Walker 3 player in me, but whenever I cast FireCake, I call him at least Fire Lord 3 times a series.
Yeah.
And over here on the left bottom side of Orbital Shipyard, we're looking at the main base of the craziest Protoss player out there. It is Haas. Of course, yesterday surprising enemies and friends with his 3-2 victory over Bonnie, or at least we were very surprised. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe the series went just as planned, you know, a couple cheeky 3 gates here and there.
Yeah, well, FireCake not scared to start off this one. Hatch first, not in the back door, so he's saying, okay, get my hatch out here, get my creep out here, just get ready to defend.
Actually, I like that already. Like, getting that hatch on the low ground is going to allow him to push creep a little bit faster. And if you have to worry about 2-base Protoss all-ins, the last thing you ever want to see as a 2-base Protoss is that creep is already very far out, because then it gets scarier to step on creep, and it's going to be a lot easier for Zerg to just run around and buy time. It is going to be a double gateway opening over here, so most likely we're going to see multiple adepts. A strategy that I think is very likely we'll see from Haas is multiple adepts into maybe an expand, but then also a proxy pylon with a proxy gateway. So it's basically 4 adepts into a 6-7 gate all-in.
It's exactly what we saw to Bunny, except he was going for Stalkers. So maybe this time against Zerg, he's going to mix it up, go for adepts, going to do much better against those Zerglings. Looks like he is moving over here to put down a Nexus, in fact, which is quite surprising. He's not going to be going for the aggression right off the bat, but he still has these 2 gates.
I mean, like, 1 base is not really an option. Unless, I mean, I should be careful what I say when I'm casting Haas.
well.
But 1 base Protoss builds are not very common, to say the least, against Zerg, and they're just not very good. So this does make a lot of sense, but there is a very strong chance that he makes 2 to 4 adepts. Well, we already have 2 on the way, so then 4 adepts total. After that, maybe a couple Stalkers, proxy a gateway, and then just go for a 6-7 gate, which you can obviously not support of 1 base, so you need a 2-base economy. But don't be fooled by Haas. Just because he drops a Nexus, that doesn't mean that he's going to be playing a macro game.
It doesn't mean he changed at all as a person or as a player, that's for sure. So we do have these first 2 adepts coming out here. He's going to delay on the adepts for now, get that mothership core out here.
What I love, just look at FireCake right now. Look at the vision of FireCake. There are units moving all around the map. Ling on the right side, Overlord on the top side, Overlord left bottom, Overlord right middle, Zergling scouting. This is how you want to play against the crazy Protoss. And 2 additional gateways are already going down. Are you surprised, Valdez?
Well, no, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, and Zerg, it's not like Terran. You don't have to send SCVs to do this. Zerg is going to be a lot more safe. These 2 adepts are going to come in here and get some kills. Already 2 drones going down 3. He's not going to kind of commit there. He's just going to shade out. And he has, in fact, got a Ling in the main.
Yeah, he got 3 drones. That's pretty good. This 1 Ling picking up 2 probes. That's actually surprising. Wow, 1 mighty Ling getting 2 probes. That's very nice. 3 drones may seem great, but against the gasless Zerg, or at least he was gasless for a little bit, as speed is not done yet, I actually think you can do a little bit more with the 2 adepts, but He wants to keep them alive. A Twilight console going down now. Okay. Okay.
Looking to mix it up here, maybe go for some Adept upgrades. He's going to continue to boost out these Adepts. He wants to get up the ramp here to block, and he just barely does so.
Now, for all the Zerg players out there that wonder, you know, if I play against a Protoss that I know is cheesy, what is the most important thing for me other than the obvious scouting and spreading creep? I think always having a Roach Warren. Never rely just on Zerglings, because there are multiple things from Protoss early on that are very good against Lings. Adepts, Zealots, and even Stalkers. As long as those Stalkers are clumped up and well protected, I think they'll be very fine. And of course, you have to worry about Dark Templars and Oracles, but I think it's most important that FireCake drops a Roach Warren soon. Well, there we go, Roach Warren down. This is just incredibly important. Here come. It's a little bit late though. If all those Adepts make their way across the map,
He's going to pump out 18 Lings right now, and he is going to have a couple of Queens here, but I'm not sure that that's going to be ready. This Twilight Council hasn't been put to work just yet.
That's very weird. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, he's turned on a third base here too.
Okay.
Not going to stay on 2 base. I was thinking maybe he would go up to tech on 2 and just try to kill him, as is the way of Haas, but just looking to put on the aggression here with the Adepts now, getting into a nice position.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal position for Adepts, and this is what I mean. That Roach one was a little bit late, and now he has to take a very unfavorable engagement with all these Lings. He does have the Queens helping out, and right now, as long as you're losing Lings and not drones, you're doing fine. But these Adepts are going to make their way into the main base, and this is pretty nice for Haas, man. He's getting a lot of drone kills.
There's still 5 of them left over, and now he's in the main. 7 drones have gone down. You were exactly right. Only Lings is not enough to stop this, and eventually he may kill off these Adepts, but they've gotten way too much damage here.
Look at 40, oh my god! 46 probes against 24 drones. Yes, exactly.
Here we go again.
And I feel whenever you have an opening like this, and it doesn't matter if you're Haas or not, right now you get 1 upgrade out of the Twilight Console. After that you make a Warp Prism, you fly across the map with 8 gates, 10 gates, and you just finish the game. Like, if you do this much economic damage, there's absolutely no reason for you not to try to end the game as soon as you have all the production you ever look for. Haas with an absolutely phenomenal start here on Orbital. How is this guy getting away with it over and over and over again?
He's looking really good. I mean, just the way he handled it's definitely a bit of a mistake by FireCake, as you were talking about. Needed those roaches to deal with that, but I think he maybe saw it a little bit too late. He scouted the 2 gates, but he just didn't take it seriously.
Like, he made a lot of Lings, but Lings are good against Adepts if you can catch them in the middle of the map, because even then, if they shade away, you can kind of chase it, and then you can surround them again. But the moment they're behind your mineral line, you can have 58 Lings, but they will still not kill 8 Adepts that are tucked away behind the mineral line. I mean, the Warp Prism is already on the way. Haas is going to try to end this game with his very first push, and I can't blame him for it. Even if FireCake knows right now that this is going to happen, he is going to need absolutely phenomenal defense. He's still making drones.
Look at this. He's got supply blocked at 74. He's making 5 Overlords. Well, you cannot get supply blocked right now at this point.
After this, Brandon, he needs to make nothing but roaches. If he makes 1 other unit, then roaches, he's super dead. And even if he makes nothing but roaches, I think it's still going to be a very tough hold.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Blink's about to finish up. He has, what, 10, 11 gates? There were so many gates down there.
Yeah. Fonka showing us as well, phenomenal creep spread, absolutely phenomenal creep spread. But is that going to be enough? I mean, Haas is not a player that respects creep spread.
Yeah, I don't think so. When you're going up against this many Stalkers with Blink, and you've only got Ling Roach at this point, it's just not going to work unless you've got a significant advantage.
Oh no, he just made 9 drones, FireCake!
Oh,
no,
wow.
no! This is exactly what Haas wanted. That's why he was hiding this army over here on the right side. 9 more drones, well, you know.
Well, now he's got to desperately make a bunch of spine crawlers and try to get some kind of concave on the top of the ramp, but look at this, he's just got way too many gates. Now he's got Adepts in the front with Blink Stalkers in the back.
I love this. He's going to shade the Adepts probably just all the way into the main base. He can also keep him into his main army if he's worried about all those Lings. I guess he will keep them over here for now. You don't... What? Whoa! What? Okay.
Whoa, look at this. He actually force fielded the ramp. There are some Ravagers in here, so a nice corrosive bile there to drop down the force field. But look at this. He's got so many gates. The Warp Prism gets inside. The Spine Crawlers are not done. And Haas is looking to end this first game with a win.
Yeah, that was kind of a crazy execution. I wasn't sure if that was necessary. I felt like Haas made it overly complicated. There are Spine Crawlers over there as well. It seems like FireCake was expecting this. Stalker count is starting to run a little bit low, though. Can he get the Prism? Can he get the Prism?
He forced it to go into, you know, that mode.
Shift mode, shift mode, whatever.
He can't warp in anything. This game is insane right now. And now he's got to back off. So FireCake actually does barely hold in an unbelievable turn of events.
That was actually a phenomenal hold. I really do not think that Haas needed to... Oh, he's going to land it. So sick. Well done, FireCake, landing the corrosive bow on a moving Prism. And despite the fact he was down 22 drones, yes, that's right, 22 drones, FireCake has hold.
He's held, you know, and that's the most important thing right now. He's held. Now he can get some map control here. That he's still got that fantastic creep spread in the middle of the map. It's going to take a long time for Haas to attack now, and now he can drone up. Now he can tech up, and he's in a fantastic place. We were counting him out, but now he's looking good.
I really think that Haas made that overly complicated for himself. I want to give credit to FireCake for those 2 spine crawlers on the high ground. If he didn't have those, there's absolutely no way he's going to hold. But Haas made that very complicated, and not keeping your units together when you have a bigger army, I don't think is the right thing to do. Like, splitting up your forces can be excellent in StarCraft. But if your main army is bigger, just keep your units together. Like, you've got a stronger army. There's no need to make things complicated.
He was trying to be too flashy, I think.
Yep.
I mean, he was trying to just draw the attention of FireCake to the Adepts towards the third base and then blink into the main and drop a couple force fields. But he forgot that there's Ravagers in the game. He dropped down a bunch of Corrosive Biles and the force fields are nil. They don't do anything.
I totally agree with you. Sometimes you just make the game too complicated for yourself. You try to do a lot of things. While if you would have gone for the good old Protoss A move, I think there's a very good chance. If you micro your Blink Stalkers there a little bit, with like 10 gateways, I believe he has. Just warp in units, keep the Prism safe. I don't think that Roaches without upgrades would have been able to hold there, but somehow he did.
Well, we got a nice Warp Prism drop into the back door now. He does have that Dark Shrine almost finished up here, but not quite yet. Just looking to trade a little bit against Lings. At the same time, trying to get up this 4th base. It has been spotted by FireCake, so he knows where Haas is at.
There is a Spore Crawler on the way, and FireCake has got a thing. When you go up against a crazy Protoss like Haas, it's very important that you use your brain throughout the entire series. Never go on autopilot. If you defend such a big push like that... By the way, this is a weird game, because Haas is actually taking a 4th base. And these are words I did not expect to say one time during this entire series, but he's doing it.
I thought it would be 2 base, max 3. You know, he did try to end it, to be fair, on the 3 base, but now he's like, oh, I guess I do have to transition. And now look at this, he's got 1 spore in the back to stop the Warp Prism, but only now is he morphing over here.
Alright, let's see how he's going to split up his Dark Templars. 4 Dark Templars are going to try to take down this base. Maybe the main army is going to try to snipe the fort. Haas with his Dark Templar trademark play. Of course it's Dark Templars. He's not going to get this hatchery though.
Yeah, just getting a little bit greedy there, trying to focus that down. But yeah, you're exactly right. The 4th base, look at this. Just coming in, sniping it down with a bunch of Blink Stalkers. That is going to go down. And at the same time, he's got a 4th base behind this. So Haas in a fantastic position, pulling FireCake apart with those DTs.
I mean, this was awesome, but it was also a very big investment. You know, let's not forget, 5 Dark Templars are not for free. He only lost 2, but it's still an investment that he has in all those Dark Templars. And the Lurker then is... this Dark Templar is going ham over here.
Somehow Haas finds a way into your back door just to kill, you know, a cheeky 10 drones, you know, whatever. Just with 1 Dark Templar.
But what is the answer going to be to Lurkers? I mean, FireCake is not very rich right now, and that's an understatement. He's pretty much broke as a joke. But if he starts attacking... Oh, this is a big army, but if he starts attacking with 4, 5, 6 Lurkers, like, Stalkers are absolutely awful against Lurkers. Like, Lurkers just rip Stalkers apart.
Yeah, he essentially needs to attack right now, right when the Lurkers are morphing. He needs to see it, and here he could go for it. He's blinking back to avoid the Corrosive Biles, but I think he knows, and I think he may blink forward soon.
Yep, I mean, it's risky to go for a forward blink, but with all these Hydralisk over here, I still think he has enough. That's a massive warp in!
That is just way too many gates in your back door. He can't even handle this front army, and even if he could with the Lurkers, how is he going to deal with this? He's going to have to pull everything back.
Wow, what a bizarre game. First, it looks absolutely phenomenal for Haas, then the all-in fills, and you really think that FireCake has got a lock on this game, because all that Haas has is 10 gateways and Blink Stalkers, and then somehow Haas turns it around with Dark Templar, sniping the fort. Now he's fighting over here.
There's no detection. The DTs are killing him. Over there, the Lurkers are all by themselves. Dude, Haas is really good. He's pulling apart FireCake right now.
He is indeed. I mean, he's doing a phenomenal job here, but doing this without observers is also a little bit questionable, though. Like, look at his supply. It's kind of plummeting. At the same time, there's not a whole lot left for FireCake, but...
Yeah, look at this. He's desperately trying to kill these Protoss units. He should be able to, and he should be able to save that 4th base. At the same time, this small group of Stalkers is going to be repelled, but what does he have left after all of this? Not much.
No, I mean, I guess that Haas right now can take unfavorable engagements because he's just so much richer and he has done so much economic damage. Like, Haas is probably the only Protoss in the world that just attacks into a guy that has multiple Lurkers while he has 0 observers. But if you're this rich, if you got this many bases up and running, I guess it's all right. I guess you can get away with it.
Yeah, looks like it. And he was floating about 2,000 minerals, 1,000 gas, but it just doesn't matter when you make this many gateways, you know. Has he even upgraded anything? Okay, he's got +1.
Yeah.
He's got that. He's fighting against +2, definitely not helping him, but he's just got too big of an economy. Look at FireCake's army at this point.
And this time he does have an observer, so he's going to snipe the lurkers, and I think that's going to be it for game number 1, as FireCake has only 46 supply remaining, and lurkers are amazing against stalkers, but not when you only have 44 supply.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous game 1. Everything I hoped for.
This is what I wanted to cast, Rowdy, and we're being given a treat right now. He's even playing it safe. Haas is like, okay, I got this in the bag. I'm going to play smart now against FireCake. I don't want to, run in there. To be honest, he probably could have just killed FireCake there, but I don't know. You got to hand it to him, playing it safe for now at least.
I really loved I'm up at 84 supply. Let's get +2, guys. This was a macro
Let me
game.
wait. Let me get some Archons out, just in case. Let me get a 5th base.
Let me get a 5th base. This is a macro build. I don't know what you guys are like. I don't know what the fuss is about being. Like, you guys always say I'm super aggressive, all in. Like, no, it's straight up macro. It's like, it's a little different than most straight up macro games, but I mean, he's doing it, and the guy just keeps doing it. Snipes, goes forward, snipes the lurker, does end up
Lost
losing
his
the ops.
observer, yeah. Gonna need another one of those. So we're gonna have to wait like another 5 minutes until he produces one.
Look at all the blue in the main base of FireCake. What is all that? Changelings. Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird. That shows.
Weird that it's blue. Interesting. But Haas just looking to end this one out here. Going to drop in the back door, warping a bunch more stuff, and he's getting charged.
Yeah,
he's like, well, this is going to help out for harassing. Does he actually not know how ahead he is, or is he just playing around right now?
He definitely knows. He's just keeping his money low. He wants to look good on camera. This is what you do when you stream games as well. It's like, I'm almost winning. Let's drop another base. This was a macro build after all. He's going to get all these observers, and these zealots will take out the pocket expand one more time. And this is absolutely no way that FireCake is going to be able to win game number 1.
Yeah, that's the other funny thing. FireCake hasn't left it. He's like, maybe I could win this one. I don't know, guys. I hope it's not affecting his mentality here, because definitely losing a game like this to Haas in this manner is definitely not going to make you feel too good.
I mean, a lot of pro players are a little bit afraid of lurkers, but after I take out 3 of the 4 bases and the only remaining base is the main base, that's obviously super mined out 15 minutes into the game, I'm pretty damn sure that no amount of lurkers is going to save you.
Yeah, like what exactly is going on? He can't seem to finally kill off FireCake here. He's going to drop again. The lurker then is, he's just going to walk on by. He's like, okay, maybe I can kill him now. GG! Haas takes game number 1. In a pretty fantastic fashion. Really enjoyed that game.
I mean, the adepts early on just did so much more. If you play against a player that opens up double gate and you already see a couple of adepts, drop that Roach 1. Yes, I know it's one drone that you want to see that drone mine, but you need access to roaches as quickly as possible. He made a lot of links, but the links were too late. If the links are there when the adepts try to make their way across the map, there's a good chance you surround the adepts, they shade away one time, but then at least you can stall them, you can force them to, hide near mineral lines somewhere far away from your base. But if the links only pop when the adepts are already showing up, that's when the adepts can find a sweet spot, and just links is just not going to do it against 7-8 adepts.
Yeah, so Haas making it work here on game number 1 on Orbital Shipyard. Definitely looking good so far, trying to prove that Taiwan is indeed number 1, but we'll have to wait and see if he can end this best-of-5 series here.
He just keeps on doing. This guy is so absolutely unbelievable, because every single person at home and every Protoss that's aspiring to be a pro looks at all these builds and it's just like, if I do this, it fails against mid-Master League players. And this guy shows up and he does it in pro tournaments and he just keeps on doing it. I mean, ever since he made his first appearance on the pro scene, Jeff mentioned it, that cannon rush against Jaedong on Polar Night, that's a game we will never ever forget. And since then, I thought that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, but he just keeps on being more ridiculous. And, this game, he definitely got a little bit carried away, I think, with the Prism.
Yeah.
He should have won the game there, but he still made it work afterwards.
He's just
5 Dark Templars.
He's just styling on FireCake at this point. He's really looking good, and I can't wait to see what he has in store for game number 2.
Let's not get too carried away yet. This was Orbital Shipyard, and Orbital Shipyard is definitely universally agreed upon the best Protoss map in the current map pool.
Yeah.
So,
but I feel like the way that he won, either way, is the adepts, as you were saying. It seemed like it was a mistake to FireCake. Maybe he was. They were talking about confidence on the desk for FireCake. Maybe he was just a little bit overconfident. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna strike this guy, whatever, 3-0, easy. Even guys on the desk were saying, this should happen.
Yeah.
Haas still looking to make that not a reality, but maybe after that game 1, reality will set in for FireCake, where he's like, actually, this guy's, he can play the game. He's not disabled, like he can actually do this, you know?
You just gotta be so super alert and so super sharp and use your brain all the time. You can never go on autopilot mode because Haas will do things that make absolutely zero sense in that phase in the game. And because it makes so little sense, it often works because that's the last thing that people think of. But you gotta stay so sharp when you go up against that madman from Taiwan.
Yeah, well, let's jump into game number 2 here on Runes of Ceres. Up in the top left, in the red, the Zerg player, it is FireCake. Gonna take back the game here in game number 2.
And looking at this man, he's probably quite happy with the spawning positions on the Runes of Ceres. He's of course our Taiwanese Protoss. He's 1-0, it is Haas. 2 map wins away from the quarterfinals. That would without a shadow of a doubt be the best achievement of his career.
Yeah, I mean, if he makes it this far, especially if he continues to win here, I mean, I don't quite remember, but do you remember if he took game number 1 against Bunny?
Well, let me think.
I'm not quite sure, but either way, I don't feel like he did. But either way, he's definitely off to a good start here. He's definitely going to get into the mind of FireCake. You know, this is definitely going to rattle FireCake just a little bit here. And he is starting off with another 2-gate here. And as you said, he is going to be very, very happy about the spawning positions here and definitely can put on that aggression and maybe even just go for the same build here.
He actually won game number 1 against Bunny, and that was also on Orbital Shipyard. That was, of course, that pylon, the pylon rush into a 3-gate.
Right, yeah.
I think he's going to be happy. Runes of Ceres, I think cross-map is a pretty difficult map against Zerg. Some Zergs will say like, no, it's actually difficult against Protoss. That's true, but it all depends how good the Protoss is. And I still don't feel, even though Haas he did just take 4 bases, I don't think he's super comfortable when he goes up to 4 bases. Cross map, when you're pretty much being forced to make disruptors or Tempest eventually, and like that's just awkward. I don't feel that's where Haas excels, but with vertical spawn locations, I think this is a lot better for very aggressive openings, 2 base, even the very first adepts, because once again this is a double gate opening, so these adepts will arrive a little bit quicker and there is a chance they'll do a little bit more. Warp Prisms, this is obviously phenomenal. Blink Stalkers, this is great because there is a ridiculous amount of surface area to blink in the main base. Like, this map was actually created with the idea of we want to see some blink action.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. And definitely want to see some dropping action, even especially when you get into these kinds of spawning positions. So Haas is still rallying these adepts actually into the middle of the map, even though the Overlord has come over here. And it looks like we are going to see a proxy here today, guys. No big surprise, but I wonder what this is going to be.
I wasn't to say Stargate at first, but I feel it's too far away for a Stargate. So I kind of think Twilight Console, very quick Dark Templars. Like maybe Adept Aggression, so the Zerg player is occupied in dealing with these Adepts, and at the same time, it's like when they finally stabilize, he's like, haha, 4 Dark Templars!
Well, yeah, it's going to be a Twilight Council up in the top right, so definitely an option here. He's going to keep that probe over there, so probably. And it's going to be up to FireCake to use his brain, like you were saying. You know, he really just has to think, what is the possibility here? I'm not seeing anything in his main, really nothing coming up here just yet. Where's all that gas going?
Yeah, this should be a Dark Shrine follow-up. And of course, eventually he could get Blink, but I'm expecting a couple of Adepts trying to keep the Zerg player busy. Don't let him worry about Dark Templars. And once he cleans up the Adepts, that's when the Dark Templars just walk in. That's definitely what I'm expecting. FireCake showed in the previous game that he's very, very eager to scout every corner of the map. There we do see that Dark Shrine being wiped in.
Yeah, and look at this, just like you were saying, he is on course, I believe, to scout. Oh, no, he's not going to go up there.
I mean, this is such a big map, though. It's really hard.
And this is why Haas does it. You know, generally, Protoss trying to put on the aggression here would like a smaller map, but...
Now, I do think there is one rule as a Zerg player when you play ZVP. If you don't know what your opponent is doing, if you got absolutely zero idea what he's doing, and you don't see any units, throw down Spore Crawlers, because what could it be? Could be a Proxy Stargate, could be Oracles, could also be Dark Templars. So if you're really in the dark, but you have the feeling that something weird is about to happen, throw down those safety spores. And FireCake is not cutting corners now, and this is very important, because if those spores are not there, he could straight up lose the game. Very well done. I love this. This is what I mean, right? When you stay sharp in the series, when you use your brain, okay, I don't see anything. Does that mean you can just squeeze out drones? No, this is not a ladder game, you know. There's a lot of money on the line. Think what it could possibly be. And FireCake, without seeing anything, just thinks this could be Dark Templars.
Yeah, and oh man, he sneaks in a Zergling here, scouts the entire main base, and he's going to be very
Finds the
happy
pylon.
about this. Finds the pylon, he's got an Overlord in position, he's even the Warp in, so he's going to be more than prepared for this. And just to echo what you were saying, you always need to think about what is your win condition when you're playing against any opponent, and your win condition against Haas is defending all of his stuff, all of his builds, and that's exactly what he's trying to do here. We do have Adepts trying to join up here, only 5 Roaches, and he is splitting up these DTs.
I mean, Haas has probably done this a gazillion times, so he's still going to find a nice opening over here. Should be able to get... Oh, he's not controlling the Dark Templar properly over there on the north side. Drones were actually doing a lot of damage. Still quite a few drones are going down, and he's forcing out a lot of Roaches. I mean, just look at the economy again. He already created an 8-worker lead for himself. Haas' openings are absolutely genius.
Yeah, he still saved that one Dark Templar, by the way, on the right side. Look at this, he's continuing to get damage done because these Roaches are not in position. Finally, they pop out over here.
He's doing it.
He's doing it, he's getting it away with it again, Roddy.
He's hiding that one Dark Templar as well, so as soon as these Roaches are out of position, this Dark Templar will just swing back in, try to get a few more drones. Whether or not it succeeds, Haas is an absolute master when it comes to builds like this.
Look at this, he can just sneak in, tap a couple drones, move out. You know, if there's no units in position, a DT can just do this.
Like, I cannot imagine that there are a lot of Protoss players out there that will kill 15 drones with a Dark Templar opening when there is a Spore Crawler in every single base and there are Roaches out. And he still does it. I mean, of course, the Adepts were sort of like a distraction maneuver. This is great, but it's not 100% over yet. You know, FireCake can definitely bounce back. He has a lot of units out. He has 3 hatcheries. He can squeeze out quite a few drones now for a little while. Interesting follow-up. He's going to go for the Adept upgrade as a, you know, next transition.
Just add a bunch of gates, and I guess he's identified, you know, that he does want to go into this big-time Adept composition here. He has secured a 3rd base finally.
Now he found the Twilight. That's nice, at least.
Yeah, he can go over there, clean that up, and he's not. I don't think he's going to be able to stop that upgrade, but he's going to stop any future upgrades from coming up here.
He might actually be able to unpower the Twilight console. It's going to get very close.
This DT is getting 1 kill, but he's trying to warp in a DT to stop this.
Sick. That's really sick.
The Chrono Boost is coming in 1 second.
Oh my god, 0.2. Oh, that's
0.2. He needed that to come down.
That is so unfortunate. You know what you could do if you're Haas? Send the Warp Prism to that side of the map, power the Twilight, let it finish up.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's got to stop these Lings from attacking at first. They will eventually be able to kill this, but this is going to be a massive detour for Haas. He wanted to attack with the upgrade, with the +1 and all these gates, but now he's not being offered that opportunity.
The probe is on its way to power those buildings, but there are 2 Lings over there. Lings are going to try to snipe this probe. This probe is going to try to run in the pylon, but will not succeed. Shut down.
Why were the Adepts not with that? He wasn't going with the probe to escort it over there to get that pylon done. Either way, these Adepts now are going to try to sneak by. No, he's going to cancel it. And now Haas is in a really awkward position. He's like, well, I guess I just take a 4th base, close positions with a Zerg that's got a massive Roach count here and almost +1.
Yeah, and you're sitting with all these Adepts that don't actually have the attack speed upgrade. And Adepts are already not phenomenal against Roaches, but without that upgrade, they're pretty awful.
Yeah, and I think this should be the end of it. FireCake looking to come down here. There's only Adepts. There is only Adepts in this army. And it is going to be +1 to +1. It just doesn't matter at this point. I mean, maybe a couple of overcharges will be able to push it out, maybe do a bit of damage, but there's nothing else to support those overcharges.
There's still 4 Lings trying to shut down this probe again. I mean, the FireCake is already in a phenomenal spot, and he's not going to get it down again. Oh, this is so frustrating for Haas.
Yeah.
Baby Rage, never lucky.
Seriously, never lucky. Like, what if he got over there and started that upgrade 0.2 seconds faster? Then this would be a totally different game right now.
There's a good chance that these Adepts would have been able to trade a lot better against the Roaches. There's a good chance they would have been able to kill a ridiculous amount of drones. There are a couple of Ravagers showing up now as well, and I mean, these Adepts are just nowhere near as powerful as they could have been.
Yeah, it's just not working out here. The overcharges are helping out a lot. He's got a couple of pylons there, but the corrosive piles are going to finish off those pylons. Finally, a little bit too late. Those Adepts are going up there, and the Roaches should be able to end this one. GG.
This series is giving us everything we hoped for and more already, and we're only 2 games in. FireCake evens it up after taking quite a bit of damage against the Dark Templars, but most importantly, he was thinking clearly during this game, and I think You know, that's all you want to do against the crazy Protoss. Just
Yeah.
you know, be aware of all the possible things that Protoss could do in this phase in the game. And sometimes when you don't see anything, there is just the right response is play it safe right now and throw down those spore crawlers, and that's what he did.
Yeah, I think he should be doing that in nearly every game that it looks like there's a slight chance or possibility that the Protoss is going to be going for DTs or even anything. It could be Oracles, you know, whatever. The spores are going to cover it all. So FireCake's got to be feeling pretty good about that last win. Going to take it on Runes of Ceres even with those spawning positions. And
0.2 seconds. I think a new meme has born. This is
seriously never lucky. Just that is unbelievable.
Yeah, we've seen it close in the past. You know, sometimes you see a command center and it's like on 71 out of 71, but you know, the wrapping paper is still on, as Ruthenius likes to say, and that's when it's very unfortunate for Terrence. But an upgrade like this, while you're proxying it, like it's not like it's at home where, you know, it's delayed, but then you clean up the links and then you can repower the building. It's like, no, the building couldn't have possibly been any further away from the main base as where it was, and then trying to power it over and over again. Very well done by FireCake, keeping the links there, by the way, to make sure that there wouldn't be a probe sneaking across the map trying to repower that building.
That's just fantastic play, even to be conscious and aware that that is proxied and I need to find it in order to possibly shut down an upgrade. Like, that's just a good thought. Like you were saying, use your brain, FireCake. He was, and he was able to shut that down. But I want to ask you, before we get into game number 3, even if he did get that upgrade, do you think he would have had a chance to, like, go in there and really kill FireCake? I mean, FireCake was up on supply. He had a lot of roaches with upgrades coming.
I don't think he's ending the game there, but I do think we're looking at a different game, because the power of Adepts is obviously not sit in the middle of the map and it's like, here we go, boys, fight those roaches. Like, no, the power is to drive the Zerg opponent crazy, keep them occupied, kill as many drones as you can, just split them over all the bases, shift forward, shift back, you know, just go crazy. And he was going up to 4 bases during all of that. So then if you throw down a double robo and you squeeze out Immortals, there is definitely a chance we're looking at a different game.
Yeah, definitely agreeing with you there, but we are going to jump into game number 3 here, down in the bottom left, in the red, the Zerg player, it is FireCake.
FireCake is probably so mentally exhausted of this series already. It's like, I can play a ladder for like 7 hours in a row, but 2 games against Haas and I'm done.
Yeah. Well, up in the top right in the blue, it is Haas, the Protoss player from Taiwan. Looking to make a name for himself here. If he could take out FireCake, that would be huge.
Used to represent the Yowie Flash Wolves, but now it's just the Flash Wolves.
Yeah.
They've dropped the Yowie.
Interesting decision. Yowie, I guess, can be difficult for some people to say. It could be Yo, it could be Yue. For Koreans, it's, you know.
Oh my god, look at this! It's happening
While we're talking.
Yes.
By the way.
You know, most of the time when a probe is heading across the map, things are not too crazy because everybody wants to scout, right? Well, Haas doesn't scout. Haas proxies 4 gateways on the other side of the map. Yeah, this is probably one of the... Oh, okay, FireCake is going to spot it as well. Spawning pool after a hatchery, but the hatch is on the low ground. It's going to be very hard to keep that hatchery alive.
Exactly. It doesn't matter if he scouts it at this point. That's 4 gates that are so close to this base.
But I kind of feel if I'm FireCake, losing that hatchery doesn't mean I'm losing the game, because you have a pocket expand on this map.
Yep.
So even if that hatch dies, as long as you stabilize on the high ground, and he's already dropping another hatchery, by the way. So this is gasless for now. FireCake is going to spot it. He's like, oh god, I just dropped another hatch. He can cancel the hatch on the low ground. I would cancel the hatch on the low ground.
Cancel them both and just defend on one base?
No,
is that what you're thinking?
No, that's risky, I think, because then you may not have enough. He cancels the pocket expand. Okay. Maybe he feels like he really wants to get the larva of the low ground expand as quick as possible.
It's farther along. You know, you
and a forge, okay. Okay.
Because why not? I mean, it is Haas.
Where's he dropping the spines on the low ground? He's building 3 spines. Is that low ground spines?
No, it's main base. Taking it safe here. The probe is on the high ground here. He's going to throw down a pylon, and
this hatch is dead, though.
The hatch is dead. It's gone. I mean, there's 10 lings coming out here, but this is for is 4 zealots at a time. The pylon's going to come down here.
Right now, it's okay. I do like this. He's sending the lings, I think, across the map. This is risky, but there is absolutely nothing at home. And besides the forge, he gets a kill. Oh my god!
He doesn't know about the forge. He hasn't scouted the forge.
Haas is such a genius. Like, this would have been a great call by FireCake 99 out of 100 times, but not against Haas, because Haas is a cannon at home.
Yeah, and he is going to scout that with the Overlord. Now he has to turn around. He's already more than halfway across the map. Yeah. Maybe he can catch this probe, but I mean, that's nothing, man.
This man is a genius. An absolute... I'm gonna stop doubting this man. Like,
A genius of Protoss, changing the game as we know it.
and now he's dropping the Cybercore. Okay, so this is even smarter. Instead of being very stubborn and rallying 9 Zealots into the main base, he's going to make a bunch of Stalkers as a follow-up, and Stalkers can out-micro this for days. But FireCake, very smart, is moving the spines near the ramp, and I think this is a great decision.
I got really scared. I thought maybe the spines would take too long to burrow here.
He's
He
just going to
kept
ignore them.
spy.
Yeah, I think this is great. I think he's going to be able to get a cancel on that hatchery.
Yeah, there's not enough links back here, and only 2 queens. That's not going to be enough.
Okay, okay, that is a massive pick off for FireCake.
Okay, there's so much stuff going on in this game. So, he's going to take out those 3 gates, right? But he's not going to be able to save this hatchery. Again, now he's throwing down another hatch, but where does this leave us in this game? I mean, these Zealots are not done with their damage.
Well, Veldas, I watch and cast and play a lot of StarCraft, but I've never seen a game like this, so do not ask me such a question.
Man.
I don't know.
I'm asking, whoever will answer at this point. Maybe there is no answer.
Let's just put the facts in a row, right? So, what happens when a Protoss proxies 3 gateways, gets a low ground expansion, then also kills the pocket expand, is ready to defend the links, but also loses power to his 3 gateways? Who's ahead?
I don't know.
No
I
one
actually
knows.
don't know.
Except Haas. Haas is like...
Haas is like, I've done this 50 times
yeah.
already. I know exactly where to go from here. He's got a transition in mind already, for
All
sure.
jokes aside, I think losing the power on the pylons, or on the gateways, I think this is a very, very, very big loss. If he would have had 3 Zealots over here protecting these gateways, because this was basically 550 minerals sitting there, 3 gateways and a pylon, and he wants to start producing Stalkers, and eventually this could be warp gates, he could use them at home. So losing that production is a very, very, very big deal.
Exactly.
Haas did everything right up to the point where he didn't have 2 Zealots defending these
and
gates.
We were talking about how we've never casted a game like this before, right? But has FireCake played a game like this? Maybe once or twice in the ladder, but probably not.
Not like this.
You said it before. Use your brain. He used his brain, and that is going to get him maybe an advantage in this game. But either way, that's how Haas wins his game. He just plays these weird strategies that nobody else does, and that's how he wins, because no one knows how to respond. But FireCake's doing a fantastic job responding.
How is the work account looking at currently? We're looking at 35. Okay, 35 drones against 29 probes is obviously very, very good for Zerg, especially because he already has these spines as well to defend. So normally I would say FireCake is in a pretty good position. He's squeezing out 9 drones at once. Haas is going to try to repower his gateway, so he's going to follow this up with a big 2 base on lane and an Oracle.
I guess a bunch of gates and oracles.
Yeah, there's no Spore Crawler yet. Also, Haas is not the Protoss that makes 1 Oracle. Haas is the type of Protoss that makes like 4 of them.
Yeah, we saw that before against Bunny, where he was trying to snipe down tanks with 4 or 5 oracles. If you guys missed that series, definitely go check that one out after this one. You don't want to miss this.
Great scout for that Overlord over there that just spotted that, this one too, Funka, but there was also an Overlord in the middle of the map that saw the Oracle, so now there are 3 Spore Crawlers on the way. But still, there's 1 mineral line that's a little bit exposed. There are 2 Queens ready to high-five this Oracle, getting quite a few shots off, so... Okay, very well done. Great queen positioning by FireCake.
Yeah, you can see FireCake's just like, okay, I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but I'm just going to make a bunch of queens, a bunch of extra queens. He's got 2 at both of these vulnerable bases, and he defends this very well.
16 drones at once were on the production tab.
No,
that's
55 harvesters now.
That's what Sweet Zerg dreams were made of. He's about to lose a whole bunch of them, though, because he actually doesn't have any units. He did a great job droning up, but he was relying a little bit too much, perhaps, on his Spine Crawlers. Now these Adepts are going to be able to pick up this Spore Crawler. Of course, after this, they will probably shade away and go to the main base or to the Pocket Expand, and then this Oracles could potentially come back.
There's more Adepts coming in here, and they are going to join up. The Oracles have not joined up, though.
Yeah, you could use the Oracles to take this fight, I think.
Yeah, it would be very, very close. I mean, the Spine Crawlers are trying to reposition. He's not using these Oracles. He's not multitasking.
I think if Haas uses the Oracles right now to fight those Queens without a Spore, I think he wins the fight, and he keeps the Adepts alive. Come on, Haas, this is your moment.
Now he finally moves it, and it looks like he's just going to go for drones, because a lot of these Queens are distracted right now, and the Adepts are still here. Good job by FireCake to pull all those drones. I think that's the best job, or best idea in terms of defending this right now.
Yeah, now he's still ahead when it comes to the worker department, but only by 2. But it's still 3 base against 2.
Yeah.
How many workers have fallen in this game? 8. Okay, that was all the drones. It's just fun. It's just nothing but dead workers. When you cast a game of Haas, he's taking harassment to a whole nother level.
Yeah. Well, finally, these vulnerable gateways out here. I mean, these oracles, you're essentially wasting your energy. I mean, he's going to kill a bunch of these roaches, but...
Oracles actually have sick DPS, man.
Yeah, they really do. but he is going to lose all of his energy. I suppose it is going to be good after all because these Oracles
It
aren't
would've
going
been
to
hard.
find much damage in the main. They're
Exactly.
not trying to defend against Lings right now, so this is actually probably the only damage they could get right now. So
Yeah.
actually it's a really good idea.
I think it was smart because every mineral line is covered by a Spore Crawler and 2 Queens as well. So he's not going to be able to kill a whole lot of workers, and if you have this much energy gathered up, he just took out 5 roaches, I believe. It's probably a pretty good call.
Yeah. I think it's pretty good. And now he's going to swing by over here. He's going to catch a couple of drones transferring, it looks like. Well,
Oh, he's out of energy.
barely missed there.
I mean,
Oops.
Oracles are great, but they do need energy, Haas.
Yeah. Just got to save these Oracles. Don't want to mess them up here. So he's going to lose these gates now, and he is going with that third base. So we kind of do stabilize in this game. Funnily enough, from the way it started, the 3 gateways really close to the base of FireCake. So where do you see this game right now? Obviously, FireCake is up on supply. He's got that lair going. The Hydra Den has completed as well.
Yeah, in a bizarre way, I think the game is going relatively normal from this point on. This is going to be Roaches, Hydralisk. We see the Hydra Den morphing into a Lurker Den right now. There is a Warp Prism on the way, so Haas, obviously, him being Haas, is preparing for his next attack. Like, the mindset of Haas is just going, can I attack? No, well then get ready for the attack.
Yeah.
And that's basically what he's doing right now. He's building up for a big Blink Stalker. I want to call it an all-in, but somehow Haas has this weird way of attacks that are supposed to be all-in somehow drag out, so let's not just call it an all-in, but there is a huge commitment in this attack, but I don't think it's going to work. I think he's down too far on supply. He does have +1, but there are a lot of Roaches out. There are still Spine Crawlers, there are still Queens, and there are a couple of Hydralisk already as well. And, very important, again, there's a lot of creep being spread by FireCake, and this makes his life so much easier.
Exactly. There is an Observer on the way, but it isn't with this army right now, so can't really clear this up at the moment. Going to slowly come across the map here. I think he needs some magical force fields, like try to bait FireCake in, but the creep sees all this, sees all the sentries. He's like, okay, yeah, I know exactly what you're trying to do here, but I'm not going to fall for it. I'm just going to sit back on 4 bases, get up a 5th if I can, and get my lurkers out.
It's very smart that Haas is dropping a 4th base as well, because no matter how good the force fields may possibly be, he can't go that far onto creep, near spines, near queens. He could never get a favorable engagement with just sentries and blink stalkers. He's going to drop a couple of stasis wards. Careful there, Fire. Oh wow, he spots it and drops Colossal Bow. Well done.
Yeah, really nicely done. I believe he did see the other Oracle over there making this one, but maybe won't know the exact position. We do have a robotics bay on the way. Expecting some disruptors here.
Yeah, I mean, Immortals are great, but I kind of feel in this phase in the game, I think you got to go for disruptors. If you're behind, Immortal is not a great unit to make a comeback with. And if you just look at the supplies, man, he's definitely behind. 175 supply against 110. Huh. If he would have left 2 Zealots in the start of the game, protecting those 3 gateways, I think this would have been a completely different game.
Yeah, definitely have to agree, and we talk about this all the time. You just have to stop Haas with what he's doing, and if you can defend, you should be able to win, and I think that's going to happen in this game. I mean, it's worked out that way. He's defended all these weird things, the Oracles coming in, the Adepts even towards the ends there, after the Zealots in the beginning. He's handled it all quite well, and as long as he doesn't run into a bunch of disruptor shots, he should be flying pretty well.
The reason why Haas games are so fun is just because there is always something happening, you know. I play a lot of StarCraft, but most of the time when I play StarCraft, it's like, all right, small harassment early on, then focus on my mid game, and then focus macro and build up. Haas is just like, do this, do that, do that. You know, he's always fighting.
Attack.
Yeah, there's always something happening, which, you know, on my level, the only way I could ever do that is with Phoenixes or something, but he's just always doing it with units. He's always finding an opening. He's always at least trying to find an opening, and that's just why his games are so incredibly entertaining to watch and cast.
Yeah, definitely.
And probably very annoying to play against. But
We got a couple Oracles coming over here. There is a Spore here to stop this. Does pick up 2 kills, not too much. We do have a Greater Spire on the way to support all the lurkers that have already come out on the map. I also love the fact that FireCake is littering all of that creep with so much static defense, all of those spores to protect the lurkers and make sure they can't be seen.
I love the Great Spire. I think it's incredibly smart, especially because Haas, I do not see him drop like 2 more Stargates and go for a Fleet Beacon and go for Tempest. So I think he's going to try to kill the Brood Lords with all the Stalkers that he currently has. And he's going to try to kill the Ground Army with the Disruptors. But, you know, you can definitely deal with 4 Brood Lords. 5 gets tricky, but the moment there are 7, 8, 9 Brood Lords, I almost feel it doesn't matter how many Stalkers or Archons you may have. You don't have an answer to that anymore.
Yeah, well, Coming out here onto the creep, it looks like Haas is going for a fight here. Once those magical force fields, unfortunately not going to work out this time. He's got a nice wall. Here come the disruptors.
Needs to land a couple of those disruptive shots. I'm not sure what he's waiting for. Nice roach drop on the other side of the map.
Yeah, just a small roach drop in there just to distract Haas for just a second.
No, that's not how you do it with your disrupt. Oh my god, the corrosive ball just landed on top of the disruptors and killed the Oracle at the same time. You don't want to shoot all your disruptive shots at once, and you make it way too easy for the Zerg player.
Yeah, exactly. And now a lot of these disruptors are very, very low. Trying to fight into the lurkers now, not really going to work out. Doesn't look like there's an angle that Haas can attack from where he will be successful.
No, it's a great setup by FireCake. You mentioned this before, but there is static defenses all over the place. There's creep everywhere, and now he spread out his lurkers as well. One of the disruptors running very low on HP. He got a couple of okay-ish shots, but he needs way more. And FireCake is obviously just waiting for his Broodlords. 6 of them are morphing right now. He's getting Vipers as well. I do like this by FireCake. You know, if you're in a good position, just stay back. Just be passive. Don't go crazy. There's no need for you to run across the map against all these Blink Stalkers into disruptors and lose your entire army. Wait for those Broodlords to arrive, and that's when life becomes very fun as a Zerg player.
Yeah, and it seems like Haas is doing a good job just slowly pushing out those lurkers with the disruptors, but as you said, this is more so playing into FireCake's hands, because once he gets those Broodlords out, it's going to be fantastic. A nice little Ling run by over here. Stasis Ward's actually really helping out in the defense, giving Haas time to come back there.
He's making a second Stargate, which I find very weird. Did he forget he already has a Stargate? Because, you know, why are you making a second one? Because you need a fleet beacon.
Yeah, where's
right?
the fleet beacon?
Yeah.
You know, if it's 2 Stargates and a fleet beacon and you're trying to go for, you know, double Tempest production here, then maybe, but still no fleet beacon. Is he going to go for Void Rays?
I can't imagine it. No, nobody makes Void Rays.
Well, this is Haas we're talking about. I don't know.
There isn't a whole lot of anti-air at the moment. Oh, those disruptive shots will connect with a lot of Ravagers and a couple of Roaches, but he needs an answer to these Broodlords, man.
Yeah, he really does. Unless he gets that magical blink, it's right underneath him. He's still got so many Stalkers out on the map.
But even if he does that, then he blinks on top of Lurkers and all of his Stalkers will just disappear. They'll vanish.
Definitely not a great place right now. Finally, we have the fleet beacon with 2 more Stargates. Okay, I don't think he can afford 4 Tempests at a time.
He completely forgot he had the first Stargate. That's why, like, he only built the. This is normal, you know. Normally you make 1 Stargate and fleet beacon 2 more Stargates, but you don't want to go 4 Stargates. So I guess he just really forgot he already had a Stargate. But yeah, he cannot afford to make 4 Tempests at a time. Then again, he has to try something. He can't fight those Broodlords straight up. This is really cool, though. I mean, we're seeing Haas late game over here. This is not something we see him do against Terran very often. Wow,
we don't see this.
Fights a couple of Corruptors, but this is getting very weird.
The Disruptor shot's really fantastic, and looks like he's just trying to delay and not really fight this Zerg army up front. Oh, really nice pulls, though, on the Disruptors. Those are really expensive units at this point.
Excellent abducts. This has got very weird. There were Zerg units on the right side of the Protoss army, while the Protoss base is in the right top side. That's very awkward, you know. That's normally not where you want to be. Somehow he swings to the other side of the map, and he's going to be able to snipe this hatchery. Well done, Haas.
And at the same time, he's buying so much time for those Tempests to come out. He's going to have 4 popping here at the same time, and he does have a big bank, so if he can delay for these super slow Broodlords to slowly push against these Stalkers.
They're so dead, though. These Stalkers are so incredibly trapped. I have no idea how these... oh, I love that as well, setting up the trap with those Lurkers over there on the right side. These Stalkers are super trapped.
He's just got to keep blinking away, I guess. He's running straight into the Lurkers, though, and the Lings are getting up all in their face. These Disruptors are hiding at the north of the map. FireCake hasn't even seen the Disruptors. But now there are 4 Tempests. I mean, he's I don't know.
I mean, he's buying time, but he has almost nothing on the ground anymore. And the Broodlords are something he definitely has to worry about. But he also has to worry about the Lurkers. He also has to worry about the Hydralisk. He also has to worry about the Roaches and the Lynx. And I feel he just has no answer to that. I mean, he still has those 3 Disruptors that I think he's bringing back right now. Or did they die on the left side?
He's bringing them back. If he could come from behind, maybe snipe a bunch of Lurkers.
Yeah, he needs to get the best shots.
He's not coming from the right angle. FireCake has spotted this. And in fact, he's just trying to save them for now. Oh boy, here comes the attack. FireCake wants to end this game. The abducts on all the Tempests and all these Hydras underneath. That should be the game here. FireCake finally able to put in the final blow here against Haas.
Yeah, very well done by FireCake. Great game, and this is such a bizarre game. One of the most bizarre games I've casted in a little while. A couple of disruptive shots will connect with a lot of these Hydras, but it's not going to be enough. As GG is called, FireCake takes a 2-1 lead in the most ridiculous best of 5. that we've seen in a little while.
I'm enjoying this so much more than any other cast so far, man. Even more than Haas's games before. He's really putting on a show, and FireCake is also putting on a show of his own. How to stop the madman. You know, he's doing it. He's actually doing it.
Yep, definitely had to dig very deep in this game. Got very close, but an absolute brilliant call to go for the pylon that was powering those gateways. If he doesn't do that, I think it would be very, very difficult for him to deal with the follow-up aggression by Haas that is obviously coming, because there's always follow-up aggression.
Yeah, there's always going to be one more attack, one after the other. But guys, we are going to take a quick 5-minute break. We'll be right back with game number 4.
Hi, Kelly. This series. Oh.
If your PC is dated and tests your nerves more than your skills, is it time for a new one? Get the Intel Extreme Masters Limited Edition PC. Built with the same components that the pros play on at the Intel Extreme Masters. Money from every certified PC bought goes to the Intel Extreme Masters prize purse. Only in the best stores in your region. They come with a certificate and a unique holographic sticker. Play like the best and support esports with the new limited edition Intel Extreme Masters PCs based on Intel Core processors.
Welcome back, guys, to the WCS Winter Championship here at IEM Katowice. It's been a fantastic series so far. Definitely one that's going to go down in the books here, Roddy.
Yes.
What are you thinking about this one?
A very memorable series so far, one that we could talk about for a long time, one that the people on the internet definitely love and enjoy. And it's not over yet, but things are looking good for FireCake. He got caught off guard game number 1. Game number 2, it got close, but there's everything in there. And game number 3, it got very close. And somehow, some way, he still figured out what to do at the right time, at the right place. The next map is going to be played on Prime Terraces. Traditionally, a very good map for Zerg.
Yeah, definitely. But guys, down in the bottom right in the red, the Zerg player winning that last one, it is FireCake. Got to be feeling good after those 2 wins here.
I think he's very exhausted, in all honesty. When you play, you're always under a lot of stress, and going up against this man who has the craziest builds in pretty much Protoss history cannot be easy. Of course, this man, the blue Protoss spawning on the top side of Prime Terraces, is our Taiwanese Protoss, Haas.
He's got to win 2 in a row here to keep his hopes alive of staying in this tournament. Definitely not going to be easy. We were all kind of predicting FireCake 3-0. Haas was able to steal one of those, but can he actually make the comeback? That is the question. He's not going to start with the 2-gate. Okay, I take that back. He is going to start with the 2-gate.
I don't mind that. This is it's a tricky map. Of course, this map got a little bit better for Protoss, but a lot of Protoss players still don't love it that much anymore ever since they swapped the natural with what used to be the 3rd base. You know, now you've got a gold base as your natural expand, which is something that's very unique. This is the first time in competitive SC2 history that your natural is a gold, and it's not because it's a weird natural. No, this is your actual natural. But it's still a little bit strange because a lot of Protoss builds, they just don't really add up when you've got that many minerals, but you just don't have the gas to really do something useful with it. And for Zerg, it's still better because they're very mineral dependent, you know, queens, hatcheries, etc., etc. That's all their production, so they still benefit a little bit more of it. So opening up with a double gate, trying to throw your opponent off a little bit, maybe kill a whole bunch of probes is, I think, a very smart thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, Haas was able to make it work in game number 1 with a big Adept swell off of 4 gates, and FireCake really did have trouble in terms of the timing of the Ro16, so maybe he can try to pull off a win like that once again. Not exactly sure what the transition this time for Haas is going to be because he is going to have his own gold base. Maybe he'll add 5 or 6 gates off of 2 base. I don't know. Could be anything. Yeah,
you can definitely have a whole bunch of gateways. I mean, this is a good map, I think, to try to do some economic pressure damage or pressure early on, and then just follow it up with 6, 7, 8 gates and a warp prism. I mean, so far Haas has shown us though that he's not too afraid to go up to 3 bases, go up to 4 bases. But FireCake, I mean, we've been talking so much about Haas because he's just so much fun to talk about. But if we want to share some love to FireCake, he's been incredibly consistent ever since Legacy of the Void came out. He did great at the very first DreamHack, the big one, had a great run at Home Story Cup as well, made it all the way to the Grand Finals. FireCake is a real tournament player, he's very smart and he's very good. His late game army control is obviously very good as well. So if I was Haas, I'm not even sure if I ever want to play against a FireCake that's on 4 or 5 bases, has access to, you know, whatever, Vipers, Broodlords, anything, you know, Lurkers. It just becomes very tricky, so I would definitely try to find a way to win a little bit quicker.
So FireCake is looking to do a bit of cheeky damage himself. He's making 20 extra lings, and he is morphing an Overlord into a drop Overlord. He's got that speed now, and the...
Wow, it's going to be the Ling Queen drop.
Yeah.
And this is actually not that good. If you look at the other side of the map, Haas is on 4 gateways, excuse me. If you're on 4 gates, you're kind of supposed to deal with this. He's going to have access to a lot of production. This should be a full wall-off, right, in the natural. Yes, he did. He picked up on this very quickly. Well done by Haas. I kind of like this, man. I really think that Haas is in a good position to deal with all of this.
Yeah, he really is. Immediately an Overcharge going to come down here, and I think only 2 of these Overlords have been morphed, so... You know, Haas could definitely get into a position where he can defend against the drop here.
Like, this is a very scary build if you go like 1 gate into a Stargate and you barely have any units.
Yeah.
But with 4 gateways, this is a dream scenario. If I was playing this game and I've got 4 gateways, I was like, cool. Like, obviously you're going to lose a couple of probes here and there, but if FireCake really commits to this, which he has to, I don't think there's any way out. I don't see this work. I really don't see this work. I think Haas has got this one, man.
Well, it looks like he wants to drop underneath that Mothership Core. He wants to focus it down immediately with the Queens. He needs a transfuse there. He does get it. Is the Mothership Core going to survive? No, it does go down. but is he going to be able to do enough damage here? Only 3 probes have gone down, and the Adepts are fighting off the Lings.
Yeah, a lot of probes actually do go down. Losing the Mothership Core sucks, but I think he can rebuild it immediately, and then you have another Photon Overcharge. These Queens are still alive, though. Wow, FireCake is actually going to be able to do it. I really did not think that this was going to work. With 4 gateways, 5 gateways even, he only had Adepts. I really think having maybe a couple Zealots or Stalkers, there's still a lot of probes left, but there is no DPS right now to deal with all these Queens. I think FireCake is just going to win the game here.
That's going to be it. I mean, he's taken out everything. GG, FireCake is going to be your victor in this best of 5 and go to a 3-1 victory. Fantastic build there on that game. I don't know how he pulled it off, but that was sick, man.
I think poor Adept positioning. Like, I don't think your Adepts have to stand right in the middle of all these units and be surrounded. I think you want to keep them close to a pylon. If you can fight inside range of Photon Overcharge, that would be amazing. I think maybe he dropped 1 Photon Overcharge too early, but with 5 gateways, I think you're supposed to be able to deal with this. Of course, they have more links and more queens than they have in other maps because of the gold base. But I still felt this was a good setup for Haas, and unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
Also got to hand it to FireCake. He did a fantastic job with the drop. He didn't try to get in all the Lings right away. He waited until he had all 4 Overlords with all the units, and he dropped right on the Adepts. And he baited out the early Photon Overcharge as well. So he had that all mapped out. It all went according to plan. Didn't matter really what Haas had there, really.
It's very smart that FireCake didn't try to split up his units, because then it would have been super easy for Haas to deal with. You know, if it's like 8 Lings here, it's like, well, 2 Adepts in my main, a couple of Adepts in the natural. And if you start bleeding out units as Zerg, like, you have to snowball out of control immediately. So keeping everything together and unloading everything together at the same time was a great call, but I still think the unit positioning from Haas could have been a lot better there.
Yeah, for sure. But guys, we're going to throw it right back over to the desk and see what they had to say about that crazy best of 5.
Hello and welcome back to the desk, joined of course by In Control Maynard and Nathanius.
Yeah, hi.
Hello. It was a crazy best of 5, and we do see FireCake going through to the quarterfinals, the first French player. Now we have a already made quarterfinal, Port versus FireCake, but not getting too far ahead of ourselves. We saw FireCake deflect Haas.
Yeah, and I think with that first game, a lot of people were checking themselves real quick. They were like, wait a second, and because that was, I guess you could still call it cheesy because Dark Templar were involved. I know that's like a real big thing for everyone, but
it was a bump
otherwise, it was just a really well-played game by Haas, and I was expecting that level of play to perhaps be enough to beat FireCake. But to FireCake's credit, actually, the rest of the series he played significantly better, was able to flex some crazy stuff. The Overlord scouting proxy 4 gates is a crazy moment right there. I don't know. Yeah. Do Overlords... we don't have any Zerg guys up here. Nate, you map out games really meticulous. Do they normally scout in that direction? That seemed really fortuitous. I think he might be hacking. Or stream cheating at the very least.
I mean, I'm just calling Expert Avalo over the airwaves, and pretty much that's always the case.
By the way, we can't make this joke without saying. We're joking, by the way.
We are joking.
FireCake is not cheating. We're just kidding.
I think usually the idea is that you do want to get one behind the main base. Usually the first one goes straight across the map. Against him,
that's probably what it was.
2-player map.
Yeah.
That kind of explains.
That is where you would proxy.
So I would tell, my answer to you, if this was like a Terran who proxied 3 barracks there, my answer would be not really the first place in your Overlord, but if you knew it was like the Muslim, for example, then you definitely would send your Overlord.
Anything to add to Maynard to that series, what you saw and what you expected? And what
it was actually exactly what I expected, a sneaky, cheesy victory, which Haas got. The one map. Actually, the thing is, when you were mentioning that one map, you're actually right. Actually, that was a bopping, man. That was a very, very well played. Yeah, Haas actually destroyed FireCake in game number 1. So I was nervous about my prediction, but luckily FireCake won the next 3 and gets through. But yeah, I mean, that series went pretty much as I expected, like a whole bunch of cheeses, proxy gateways, lots of DTs, but just the Zerg's early game defense is pretty damn good now in Legacy of the Void.
It's hard to crack some of these Zerg players.
It's a tough one.
It is, but FireCake now has made his way through to the quarterfinals and will be playing Pult tomorrow. A big game there, but before we go too far ahead of ourselves and go moving on to the next game in the round of 16, we have FireCake, who's made his way from the player booth, ready for the interview with Red Eye. You are there.
He has. Thank you very much, Sean. Yes, over in Pro Corner right now. FireCake has rejoined us. We also have the Muslim here as well. FireCake, well done. A good victory. But I want to go through the maps a little bit and talk about some of the crazy stuff that we expected. It didn't really materialise. You said yesterday pretty prepared for Haas. You kind of know that he's going to play this cheesy kind of game. It wasn't that cheesy, was it?
No, it was not. Yeah, I was very surprised because he looked very solid in every part of the game. It did a transition in the late game. It was surprising.
Were you just waiting there going, well, where's the cheese?
Yeah.
You were genuinely surprised?
But hopefully in the third game, he went for proxy gate. Yeah, this is hard.
Yeah, okay, so back to normal again. So talk us through the first game. What went on in the first game?
I played very bad, like very, very bad. But the plan was not to win this one because...
so you lost on purpose?
Your plan was not to win?
Not the first game because the plan was to know the player.
Okay,
I have no
so
information on him and I don't know what he plays, but he can watch many VODs of my games from the last 2 months.
Yeah.
So he is prepared for me, but I'm not prepared for him. So he picked the Orbital, the first map. So it's a kind of a good map for our Protoss. So I expected to... I don't care if I lose this one, but at least it must be useful for the next games.
Okay.
And it was very useful.
Yeah, so using information. So is that about as good as you could have hoped to play and win 3-1 is as good as you would ever dare to dream last night when you went to bed?
I don't really care about 3-0, 3-1 or 3-2. No. The goal is to win. I don't care if I lose 1 or 0 map.
Okay. So Polt's next.
Yeah.
No problem, right?
No problem. Yeah, very cheesy player. Yeah, no problem.
Demo, you got to stick up for your Terran brother here.
Well, no, I'm sticking up for my teammate over here,
okay.
man.
Well, because you're kind of split, right?
That's what I was telling him. All that practice that I helped him have, against Terran and such, like, oh, Polt's no problem. We totally practiced, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it from you.
He asked a few times, and
right.
I was a bit too much of a wimp to play FireCake.
No, really? he was sick because of his pillow. Yeah.
Pillow, luggage. Yeah,
you were sick for like 2 months. I asked
quite a while.
Many times to practice, and I'm sick.
You were sick from pillow.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
I was allergic to the feathers in my pillow, and I didn't realise I was for so long. So I had a lung infection, and I was like, oh, I'm going to rest a lot. And I was just getting gradually worse, so that's why I didn't practice with FireCake.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. I'm kind of thrown by that. It's like, afternoon TV on UK TV here, Dr. Phil or something, maybe Dr. DeMuslim tuning in. But thank you, FireCake. Well done, and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in the quarterfinals against Poets. Great game. I'm really looking forward to it. I think DeMuslim is as well, right?
Totally am.
After all that practice that you've helped him with.
Well, I mean, FireCake's actually been one of the best foreigners for quite some time now. Like, everybody seems to forget about him, though. Like, when he came second at Home Story Cup, he came third at DreamHack.
Yeah.
Like, DreamHack likes it wasn't the best, but Cyril was really, really good at the time. So, I actually think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, but Polt is incredibly solid.
Yeah, it's. I was going to bring this up, actually, yesterday when we were talking about it. Third, second, first. Right?
Yeah.
So that's this one, right?
That must be this one.
That's if you ignore Leipzig, where it's like, oh shit.
No. Nobody talks about that anymore. It's fine. Nobody saw that. It's fine. They've all moved on. It's all WCS now. So you can finish first, and then you get a nice run.
Yeah. And then I go to BlizzCon and win.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. What are you gonna? Let me ask you this thing, because I've always been fascinated by this from all the players. I've talked backstage a little bit, but I haven't said anything on air. If you win here, you go to BlizzCon, right? Great. What do you do for the rest of the year?
The same I am doing right now. I play tournament.
Go on holiday? Find a beach?
No.
Play Overwatch?
No. I will try to do my best because, BlizzCon is so big now.
Yeah.
It's even bigger every year because now it's really the biggest tournament. And I think every player would like to go to BlizzCon and do his best.
Yeah.
Especially because now there are almost no Koreans.
Yeah.
So we have a chance to go far in BlizzCon.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, because normally the only foreigners we get there are, people like Sean and Kalaris and Todd, so it'd be nice to get a player there, wouldn't it?
Well, a player actually focusing on the BlizzCon at hand, not focusing for the next BlizzCon.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Because is that a thing? Was that a thing?
Yeah, Lilbo was preparing for Legacy of Void back in
right.
Hots,
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, I was...
Oh, it's all right.
I've been out of the scene a bit. You've got to break me. Got to break me in slowly, Benny. I've got to get back into it slowly. But thank you very much, and good luck against Polt. It's going to be great to see you on the stage as well. All that crowd cheering for you, I'm sure. Right, we are headed to a break. We do still have 2 more games to come, though, as we move our way through round of 16. And just a very quick reminder for you tomorrow, we will be having the rest of the round of 16, the quarterfinals, and then we'll move on to the Spodek Arena on Saturday for the semis and the grand final. Still plenty of fantastic StarCraft 2 to come. Don't go anywhere.